Hey, what's going on, guys? Major League Shooter here with a versus video for you guys. So this specific video is going to be against the Beretta M9 versus the Colt Government Series 1911. So both of these firearms are semi-automatic pistols. The Beretta M9 was actually manufactured. Its place of origin, if you will, is actually out of Italy, whereas the 1911 was its place of origin is here in the United States. Both of these firearms have been in service for a very long time and have a significant amount of history behind them, but I'm not going to get into the history. Maybe one day later I'll get into the history of the firearms. So that'll be a separate video. But the Beretta, I'll start with the 1911. The 1911 was actually in service since 1911 till 1985, whereas the where the Beretta M9 actually replaced it. The Beretta M9 has been in service since 1985 till the present day. But that's not to say that the 1911 is no longer in service. It's still running in service. It's just no longer the primary standard sidearm of the United States military, since it got replaced in 1985 with the Beretta M9. So both of these triggers have very good triggers. I would say the Colt 1911 has got a way better trigger than the Beretta M9, but the double action of the Beretta M9 is, I'll be honest, kind of terrible. But the single action is where this firearm actually shines. If I say it's the same thing I've said on the review of the Beretta M9, but the single action is where this firearm really shines. I think they're both aluminum. I know for sure that the 1911 has what's called a solid aluminum trigger, but I'm pretty sure that the Beretta M9 is also an aluminum trigger. When it comes to sights, the Beretta M9 has, well, the 92FS has a 3-dot sight, but the Beretta M9, if you look closely, actually has one on the back and one on the front fixed sights. These are good, and this is actually where you get the term stacking the snowman, because you put one on top of the other to make a little circle. And then you're on target, whereas the 1911 actually has a true 3-dot sights, two in the back, one in the front. So that's what it comes with the sights with these firearms. The 1911, they actually call it the high-profile sights. If you actually remember the original 1911s, they were much lower, a lot harder to actually get on target. But with these high-profile sights, makes it a lot easier to get target acquisition on there. But that's not to take anything away from the Beretta M9, because this is the primary sidearm of the United States military for a reason. It's a fantastic firearm, very durable, and it works. So when it comes to the hammers of both of these, they're both external hammers. This one has a basic, the Beretta M9 actually has a basic external hammer, whereas the 1911 has what's called a spurred hammer. If you can see it right here, it actually spurs a little bit, and that's where you get the name spurred hammer. It's a fantastic, both of these are fantastic. They do their job, they work. Of course, there's nothing special about hammer. Hammer is a hammer, but both of these do the job just well with no problems whatsoever. When it comes to safety, the Beretta M9 I think is favored significantly over the 1911, mainly because of its ergonomics and it's the fact that it's ambidextrous. The Beretta M9 is actually a slide mounted safety, but like I said, it's ambidextrous, so if you're left or right handed, you could actually activate and actuate the safety on the firearm. The 1911 has two safeties. This actually has what's called a safety lock. It's actually meant to be cocked and locked like this. That's where you get the term cocked and locked, is from this firearm. So that's the way it's supposed to be operated. This also has what's called a grip safety. So both of these safeties have to be defeated in order for the firearm to be able to fire. Both of these are drop safe, so if you were to drop them, you can actually you can rest assured it's not going to accidentally fire a round of ammunition out of this chamber. So that's the good thing. When it comes to finishes, on the other hand, the Beretta M9 has what's called a non-reflective back Bruniton. I can't pronounce that word, sorry, but basically this finish has two main advantages to it. One is the simple fact that it's non-reflective, so that's it's really good when it comes to like tactical reasons, or if you're like night shooting or whatever and you don't want to be seen. It's non-reflective, so this is a really good thing. That's part of the reason why the military chose to have this certain firearm as well. It's also designed to withstand powder, rain, sand, and corrosion almost as well as stainless steel. The 1911, on the other hand, has many finishes. This one is actually a brushed stainless steel, but it also comes blued. What else does it come with? It also comes with you know, black. You name it, you can probably find it a finish in a 1911, since so many manufacturers actually make them. It's very easy to find what you want in terms of the finish on this firearm. When it comes to the magazine release, the Beretta M9 again shines because this one right here is actually like mounted on the left side, so it's made for a right-handed shooter, so you can actuate it with your right thumb. But the good thing about the Beretta M9 is the fact that the magazine release is actually reversible, so you can actually mount it on the right side instead, if that's what you so choose to do. Whereas the 1911 is just a standard magazine release. It only goes on the left hand side, so this is actually made for a right-handed shooter primarily. But so I mean, that's one of the disadvantages against the Beretta M9. But again, you know, I'm gonna keep saying this a lot, not to take anything away from the 1911, because it's a fantastic firearm. When it comes to the cartridge, the Beretta M9 shoots or fires what's called 9x19 millimeter parabellum, or the 9mm Luger as it's commonly known or referred to. Whereas the Colt 1911 shoots what's called a 45 automatic Colt pistol, or a 45 ACP as it's commonly referred to. I've also heard it called a 45 auto, but it's a significant difference in size. So, you know, you have your 45 lovers, you have your 9mm lovers. I, to be honest, love them both. When it comes to magazine capacity, the Beretta M9 shines. It holds a 15 round magazine, and you can actually buy magazines for it that can actually hold more. Whereas the 1911 has a 7 round magazine. Again, same concept. You can actually buy magazines that hold like 8+1, or even more than that. And like I said, both of these are +1, so this is a 15+1, 7+1, unless you buy extended magazines or an extended capacity magazine for these specific firearms. The overall length of this firearm of the M9 is 8.5 inches, whereas the 1911 is 8.25. So the Beretta M9 is a little bit longer than the 1911, but not by much. When it comes to barrel length, the Beretta M9 is a 4.9 inch, but the government model of the 1911 is a 5.3 inch. The Commander's model, which I don't have here, is a 4.25 inch, or the Officer's ACP model, which is a 3.5 inch. So that's something that's I guess an advantage of the 1911 is the simple fact that you can actually have different variations of the firearm versus the Beretta M9, which is basically, you know, you have the 92FS, which is the civilian version, or the military specifications version, which is this specific firearm, the Beretta M9. When it comes to the action of these firearms, both are short recoil operated. So basically, once it shoots, it moves a slide back and then pushes another round into the chamber, where then it can in turn fire again until the magazine is empty. Muzzle velocity is where there's a major difference in both of these, and I think a lot of it has to do with the actual round. But the Beretta M9 muzzle velocity is a 1,250 feet per second, whereas the Colt 1911 is 825 feet per second. So it's significant difference when it comes to muzzle velocity. But you know, this is a big round. It does have some significant stopping power, but this is a very fast, very accurate round as well. So both of them have their advantages, both of them have their disadvantages. I'll make a video one day, a versus video between both rounds or something, but I'm not gonna get too into the cartridges. But both, like I said before, both of these firearms have been the standard sidearm of the military. So starting with the 1911, it's actually been in World War I, World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War, and in non-standard use, the Persian Gulf War, war in Afghanistan, and the war in Iraq. Whereas the Beretta M9 has seen conflict in the Persian Gulf War, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, and the war in Yugoslavia. So like I said, both of these firearms have a significant history. They've actually seen combat, and actually both reliable in their sense. Both firearms are fantastic, and to be honest, I recommend both. I'm not going to stand here and say one is better than the other, but because they both have their advantages, both have their disadvantages. But when it comes to, I guess you can say, a tactical reasoning, I think the Beretta M9 would be a lot better, simply because of the magazine capacity and because of its well, that's basically it. It's the magazine capacity. It's a lot better to carry more rounds in a tactical / combat environment. But when it comes to going out and plinking or just having fun period with the firearm, I think the Beretta M9 is a lot better in that sense. So I hope you like this video. That does it for this one. So if you like it, please like it. Or if you like the video, please hit the like. You know, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share it or anything like that. If you want to get in contact with me, I'm going to put the link to all my social media on this page, on the bottom right here. So with that being said, thank you for watching. God bless you, and God bless America.